We are talking with Chris Siriano. He's the, did we say executive producer?
That's right.
Executive producer of the new film that's coming out called The Bearded Boys of Baseball. And this is your second film. And it has to do, basically, there's a theme. There's a series of films that are in the works. And they're talking about House of David and looking at different aspects of that, something that's very important to the local history here. But let's talk a little bit about Bearded Boys of Baseball. What is it?
Yeah, Bearded Boys of Baseball is just a compilation of their 40 plus years of baseball here on the North American continent, and they from growing long hair and beards and playing being an oddity on the field to being a team that won over 70% of their games. They played against the pros. They played against barnstorming teams, farm teams. And the Negro Leagues. And because of the fact that they were the only white team that played consistently in the Negro Leagues, that's a big part of Negro League history. And we traveled the country getting interviews, getting film footage that's never been seen publicly, photos, stories, and we put it all together. And I think it's pretty off the hook.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you collaborated with some of the folks at the Negro League Baseball Museum as well, right?
That's right. Yeah, the original founder of the Negro League Baseball Museum, Phil Dixon, is a part of our story and talks in depth about how important the House of David was in their world. Yeah, which is pretty awesome to hear from that side of the story, because I could say it all day long, but to hear it from him, being the world-renowned authority about Negro League baseball, he's an author of like a dozen books and travels the country every single day talking about the Negro Leagues. He loved the chapter of the House of David and gives the House of David credit for helping break the color barrier in baseball.
Yeah. You're a historian. You know a lot about House of David, know a lot about that culture. Did you learn anything surprising when you started getting further into the baseball aspect?
I learn almost every day. There's so much to it. Honestly, there's so much to it. My dad used to say, "Chris, you opened up Pandora's box." Yeah, because it's never ending, and that's the beautiful part about it, is that just when you think, okay, I should have it all, and then all of a sudden, a new branch pops out, the next new leaf of history pops out, and then and there's a whole new tree that you have to learn. So it's I love it. I learned so much just in every one of these documentaries. We go really, really in depth to be 100% accurate on every word of everything. So my job as executive film producer is not only to help put the content together, but I have to prove that what is being said is true. So, and I have to do that through photos, through film footage, or through interviews of somebody that was there. And it's been tough, but that's been the awesome part.
Yeah. You've got an amazing foundation, though, because at the museum in St. Joseph, there is so much baseball memorabilia there. It is so cool.
Yeah, and that building is tiny compared to what it really could be. It could be 10 times that big. So
we got a couple empty buildings here. Well,
we could make room. We'll take one of the studios and make it the House of David Museum studio.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot to it. So, and a lot comes around almost all the time, new stuff. So how do you do justice to all of it? So what we try to do for the documentary was get the most fascinating, interesting, compelling stories and put them all together and mesh it for a crazy great documentary.
That's awesome.
Who would you say the most famous player was on the House of David team?
Probably Doc Talley as far as the House of David. He played,
but they had guests come in from time to time.
The most famous, world famous, was Grover Cleveland Alexander, who was considered the greatest pitcher of all time. won the World Series for the Cardinals in 26 when he struck out Babe Ruth.
Wow.
And then came on to play for the House of David from 31 to 35 and was a pitcher and a pitching coach. But, you know, they had Satchel Paige, who put on fake red whiskers and played for him and won the World Series of the Negro Leagues, which was called the Denver Post Tournament.
Okay.
Wow.
For the House of David against Kansas City Monarchs. But, you know, and Babe Ruth. And, you know, he just did some exhibition games with them and put on fake beards. And we've got footage of him cracking a 3-base hit.
That's amazing.
It's just, there's a lot of great athletes. Babe Didrikson, Jackie Mitchell, One Arm Pete Gray, Chief Bender, the Daffy and Dizzy Dean. So they really touched a lot of baseball.
Yeah.
Question on our Facebook page, actually, from Jeff, wanted to know if there were players that would from the House of David baseball team that would make it into the major league circuit, Major League Baseball. Any of those?
Well, there were several that were offered contracts to play Major League Ball, but they wouldn't go because they wouldn't shave and they wouldn't leave their weight.
Yeah.
So their whiskers and their long hair were part of the religion. And they were quoted in Leviticus to not round the chin nor the forehead.
Sure.
And which they interpreted as never shave or cut their hair, that man should be in the likeness of Jesus. So even though they loved baseball, they wouldn't leave the faith to play baseball. So like Paul Mooney, one of the greatest early pitchers for the team, and his folks were the original founding family of the House of David. He was a phenom on the mound, and recruited by the Cubs heavily, offered a huge contract for the Cubs, but he wouldn't leave or cut his hair to do that. So there was a lot
now if they would have played, they'd be able to be fine because you get guys in the major leagues that look exactly like these guys.
Right. Yeah. Now, several years ago, I think it was the Boston Braves won the World Series, and the Boston Globe contacted me about 3 weeks before and said, "Hey, we got to do a story about how the House of David influenced our guys about our long hair and whiskers." And so we collaborated and did a really fun story. And then, of course, they won the World Series after that. So
wow.
And St. Louis Cardinals, they had a lot of guys that had long hair and whiskers today.
Yeah.
That's great.
Now, you've got your museum, and there's the Negro League Baseball Museum. Is House of David in the Baseball Hall of Fame? Is there stuff and information in that museum?
Very little.
Okay.
And I've worked hard on trying to change that, and visited Cooperstown a couple times and donated some things. And the first time I went, there wasn't one piece of House of David.
Wow.
This is a big, monstrous museum.
Yeah.
And the Negro League Baseball Museum in Kansas City, Missouri, there's a ton of House of David. They tell the story. They purposely want you to know there's this wacky, weird, white whiskered team from Benton Harbor, Michigan that played in our league. And so that I've tried to work with Cooperstown, and a couple friends of mine have donated some things. One family donated a uniform, which is rare as hen's teeth, worth thousands and thousands. So they're coming around. They are coming around, and a couple of their people really, really want to help tell the story there. But as of right now, there's not much at all, sadly.
Yeah.
Maybe we can schedule a showing, a viewing of your film at Cooperstown.
Hey, there we go.
Let's do that.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
But not just baseball. What else have you got in store? You said you're working on a third film.
So we're in the process of making the third documentary right now.
Okay.
And it's and we're teaming up with the Eden Springs Park at the House of David group.
Okay.
Which makes my heart very happy. And they're the ones that are putting life back into the old amusement park. And so the movie will be about the amusement park, about the trains. It'll go in depth about the trains, about the midget autos, and the music in the park. It's going to be awesome.
That's
and
cool.
We've had so many people say, Chris, you've done amazing with these movies, but you have to do one about the park. So
that's great.
So that's next. We do ultimately, Lord willing, and I remember who I am. We hope to do 9 documentary films.
Oh wow,
9.
We have 9 in the works.
That's great.
In the plan.
What is what's the timing on number 3?
They typically take about a year.
Okay.
So we're in March, probably. Who knows?
If you can't get Ken Burns to narrate these, I'm available.
Okay.
I can do.
Yeah,
this
you can
for
take another Ken.
Okay.
He's the backup Ken.
I'm the
right.
backup Ken.
Well,
But Bearded Boys of Baseball, the film is going. Can people see it right now? When can people see this?
yeah, it's going to be at Celebration Cinema starting on Friday, 4:15 and 7 p.m.
All right,
and it'll be a week straight.
Okay.
And then on PBS.
that's a big deal. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah.
People can see it on the small screen in the comfort of their own homes.
Yeah, and it's going to be on PBS every Monday starting April 1st at 9 p.m. right after Antique Roadshow.
Oh,
I
great
love Antique
slot.
Roadshow.
Yeah, that's a good
It's
slot.
an amazing slot. Yeah, it's their number 1 slot actually.
Yeah.
So my heart is very swelled right now because of that. And so he said that's their best viewer slot. So every Thursday in April at 9 p.m. and it's going to start out with the first half of our first movie.
Okay.
And go on to the final half the second week of April. Then the third Thursday of April will be the first half of Bearded Boys of Baseball, and then the last Thursday will be the last half.
Okay.
So
awesome.
We're in the works of other things right now for documentary films, but I don't want to talk about.
Oh, come on!
But
we won't tell anybody.
It's good stuff. We'll talk about it another time.
No, that's really great. This is awesome.
Yeah, congratulations on the second film getting out of the gate and being in all kinds of great places. Celebration Cinema, PBS. We'll have some additional information available for folks. We've already shared the trailer, so if you want to see the trailer for Bearded Boys of Baseball and get excited about that, we've got that as well. So thanks, Chris. Did we miss anything? Anything else?
Nope. Just if you want to learn about the documentary, more of the details, it's hodfilm.com.
Okay.
For House of David, hodfilm.com.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
thanks,
then
Chris.
we want to check out the museum. How do we do that?
Yeah, the museum's open by appointment, and we're at 922 Main Street in St. Joe. And just get on Facebook and make an appointment through our Facebook site.
Awesome.
And we'll make it happen.
It's worth it. And if you can get Chris to talk you through some of the exhibits that you're seeing there, super fun.
Thank you.
It's very enriching.
Thank you.
So
Chris,
thanks,
always great to see you, man.
Yeah, thanks for